Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Dan Q, full-time dad, part-time gamer, and hey, this is actually my first video on this channel. So no pressure, right? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Tip number one. I went into looking for a class selection screen, but like picking a warrior, picking a mage, the usual, but Soulframe just didn't have that. They didn't really do that, and yeah, it threw me off a bit. What you actually get are three stats. Kind of like sliders. And where you put your points shapes how you play the game. They're called virtues. One is courage, second is spirit, and then lastly is grace. Courage is basically your tank stat, so it applies to melee weapons, close range fighting, and it makes you toughest out of the three. Spirit is your mage stat, so this applies to your magic stave. So if you cast like magic fireball or summon wolves, which will have option later on, then this is your best stats. Lastly is grace. Grace is your rogue stat, so it applies to bows, also apply to dodging, also apply with hitting things from a distance, or just backstabbing them from the back. So really, tank, mage, and rogue. You probably already made this decision before any other RPG you played.
World of Warcraft?
And it's same idea here, but Soulframe just call it something else. Now, later on, you'll pick something called a pack. That's closer to an actual class, with its own special move. But don't overthink it, since it's your first pick, respecs are available later on, and it's for free. So honestly, just go whichever of the three sounds more fun to you and figure out the rest as you go. Tip number two. Check the weapon before you spend points. This one is very, very important. You have to check a weapon stat requirement before you commit to it and use it. The reason behind that is because if you are not able to meet the weapon's requirement, then your weapon will underperform and you'll just be disappointed. So always make sure that your stats aligned with the weapon that you're using. Tip number three. And honestly, this is one I feel dumbest about. There's an ability called spectral sight. Basically, your soul vision. And I didn't touch it for way longer than I should have. I didn't know how to utilize it. So to utilize this, hold the bind, go check settings, and then go to controls. Since sometimes it move across depends on the update. So normally by default it's Q. So just hold that and you'll see the whole world kind of lights up. So whatever you can interact with, like hidden murals, puzzle clues, loot glowing, animals you can tame, all showed up once it's active. You can press and hold that. But here's the part that actually matters. While you're in Spectral Sight, you can also pull off something called a pull smite. This is basically every hit you land on an enemy has a chance to smite an enemy, which make their soul start glowing. You'll see this like red, blue, also like kind of yellow, which is kind of neutral, I believe. And also there's a color that's green. So that helps you know what virtue it affects, which you'll be able to learn later on. Once that happens, you hold the spectral sight. If you see the enemy glowing, and then hit light attack. And then boom, big bonus damage, plus it recharges your ability if it's on cooldown. I genuinely thought this was just a visual effect for way too long. It's not. Use it constantly. Tip number four, taming animals. This easily ended up being one of my favorite part of the game once I actually figured it out. So in order to tame animals, you need to press and hold spectral sight, which is your Q, and then slowly go near the animal and then press your light attack, which is your mouse 1. And then you'll see an initiate where you will need to press certain buttons in order to have the correct strings. And then once you have those flower filled up, you'll be able to capture that animal. And once you gain that animal, you'll see something called a totem that will flash on your screen. It's just not a trophy. You can add this to your weapon, which make it stronger later on. Tip number 5. Honestly, this would have saved me the most stress on the game. Don't overthink your first few hours. Your class pick isn't permanent. Your stat can be respec later on for free. And you'll unlock a bunch of more options just by playing throughout the story. I spent too long agonizing over the right build before I even understood the basic. So just play and adjust as you go. So a quick recap, the stats aren't classes. Check your weapon requirements before spending points. Use Spectral Sight and Pulse Smite way more than you think you need to. Tame animals whenever you see that glow, and don't stress your early choices. That's 5 things I wish I knew before starting Soulframe. If this helped you out at all, drop a like, subscribe, since I'll keep making more of these as I play. Let me know in the comment what you wish you know. See you in Midrath.